Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am tired. I've been up in Atlanta doing travel ball. It was my 16-year-old last travel ball tournament, and he actually pitched really well. Things are going good. This kid's on track to, all he's got to do is get a little more speed with his pitch, and you could very well see this kid playing college baseball on TV. It will be mission. I call my two sons and their baseball my final miracle. If I can pull it off and have two Division I, that's the goal, Division I baseball. It'll be my final miracle. And I've spent countless hours with these kids since they were very small, working with them on baseball. Now, while I'm, just so you know, when I go to these tournaments, and there's a lot of downtime in these tournaments, so a lot of time I'm staring at my phone and looking at interesting tweets that are going on, and I saw a lot this weekend. So I want to show you a few of the things I noticed. The first one was with Jeremy Hogan. This guy, 50th Crypto. Let me see if I follow him. I will follow him. He follows me. Quick question: can a settlement occur and be announced during the weekend? And Jeremy Hogan says, sure can. Cases can settle over a beer Saturday around midnight. Wouldn't say anyone from the SEC works on the weekend, so unlikely. In fact, it strikes me they don't work during the week either. I have no idea for a mediation service where the parties take a shot after every move in the mediation. It's genius, if only the tequila to pull it off. Let me see if he said anything else here. I don't think so. All right, so the point is that a settlement can happen at any moment, okay? And that's one reason that you should be paying attention to this. Linked to who is one of my sponsors. They've through tonight at midnight, they've decreased the investment minimum to $5,000, and they do have Ripple equity up there. So you can click on the link in my description and tell them DAI sent you. Now here's the market. We're looking at Coin Paprika. XRP's been holding pretty strong up there between 47 cents and 50 cents. But the market overall is kind of boring, not a lot going on. This isn't boring though. Dark Defender, I'm not going to go through this, but I did want to show you the tweet. This Dark Defender must not mind at all being attacked, because when you put these kind of numbers down, you could get in a lot of trouble with the social media crypto police, or XRP police. Hi all, as promised, here's our detailed XRP analysis. Regardless of the possibility of XRP touching 22 or 9 cents, still possible, the third Elliott wave of the grand cycle, I don't know if I've heard that term before, the grand cycle, is targeting $256 in the upcoming bull run. Now, I don't know if anything that the Dark Defender is saying here is correct, but what I do know is I am here for these kind of numbers. I am not here for these kind of numbers. All right. Now, this is one of the guys I like. I was actually, ironically, I was wondering where this guy had gone the last week, because he always tweets interesting tweets out that are always really positive and I guess could be considered speculation, but that's okay with me. We don't have a problem. That's why we showed up to this party, is to speculate on digital assets. So why would I mind speculating? I expect XRP to come in second place, overtaking Ethereum before the end of this year. Now, these are bold predictions right here, folks. In fact, I'll write that down, bold prediction, because that is a bold prediction. And now, just to make it clear, without the lawsuit, XRP has already overtaken Ethereum at this point, and probably Bitcoin too, which I believe was part of the design of the lawsuit. We'll get to that lawsuit more in a second. Now, check this out. This has been happening, and I think it's the reason I wanted to show this tweet is I wanted to kind of point this out because it's been happening, and I don't know if anybody's really noticed it. A lot of the digital assets that were doing the best in the bull run of 2021 are now falling but a lot of them are surging that I consider to be utility. The ones I know about here would be XDC, XRP, and Quant. In fact, I did a tweet about Quant this weekend. It never ceases to amaze me. Some people seem to think that if I even have the gall to even mention another digital asset besides XRP, even though probably somewhere between 99.1 and 99.9% of my portfolio is XRP, maybe not that much, but anyway, a large percentage is XRP, and the second largest is XLM. But I do own some Quant, and it was surging over the weekend, so I did a tweet about it. To me, the dumbest thing in crypto is that Bitcoin's got 21 million. There's 21 million Bitcoin, and there's something like 14 million Quant. Quant is at Sibos, rubbing shoulders with Swift, and actually working on use case. Bitcoin has no use case. Bitcoin goes to 65,000 Quants at like $185. That's not even see, now this is an adult versus children conversation here, because the adults that are paying attention, and by the way, there's also a guy that manages Rothschild money on the as one of the advisors to Quant. So don't be offended. Quant is hardly any percentage of my portfolio versus XRP. Don't worry. I'm an XRP guy, but that doesn't mean I can't own some Quant, because I think they're going to do some things too. Now, Coach JV had a great tweet. You have the greatest opportunity in history to get utility crypto at very low prices. Folks, that's the key words. No utility, no value. Okay? To this point, these people have propped up Bitcoin. I don't understand why, but they have. But the second that utility becomes the thing, there is no reason to own Bitcoin. I've said it from the inception of this channel. Utility is what it's all about. Once there's regulatory, he makes a great point here. Once there's regulatory clarity, the institutions will come flooding in. In fact, most will miss this and wait until their institution says it's safe. XRP King is coming. Now, there's a trigger that I think is going to happen, and it was said in this video from Gary Gensler Resign. It was said by Mr. Wonderful. He was on crypto, what's that guy's name? Crypto Man Ran, the guy that used to be the CNBC crypto show. Watch what he says here, because this could easily, I think he's right, this could easily be the trigger that sets off the next bull run in crypto. And he references it for Bitcoin. That's not what we're paying attention to here. I think it'll send the whole market, especially the things that have real utility.
But bills floating around. But let's talk about the one that has the chance of actually getting passed in the U.S. after November 8th, which is the midterm elections. It almost went to markup last week. It's called the Stablecoin Transparency Act. Now, this has nothing to do with Bitcoin, but it has a lot to do with the tone of regulation. And the reason I think it's interesting is they're trying to solve for the challenges that occurred in these collapses of stablecoins that were built around algorithms. 62 billion got erased. The regulators got upset about that, although the majority of that capital, because it was decentralized, was in other countries. But this act is very simple in nature, which is why it may pass. It's being supported by both parties. And the reason that's the case is that it makes effectively the US dollar the default payment system worldwide, which everybody can get behind. So if you have USDC or any other stablecoin that's backed by the dollar, and the test to get it regulated is very simple. You're going to get audited every 30 days. It has to be backed up 1-to-1 with a dollar or a treasury bill. All the treasury bills backing the coin or the token have to have a duration of less than 12 months. And if you're willing to go through that scrutiny, they'll issue you a license. Now, if that were to happen, and it may happen very quickly after November 8th if the House flips, and that's the anticipation is House flips, nobody knows what's going to happen in the Senate, that's a coin toss. But even though it has nothing to do with Bitcoin, that'll be the first regulation passed by U.S. regulators. And I would argue you want to be long Bitcoin going into that outcome. So if you own stable coins, you're going to see a lot of interest in institutional capital coming into, let's say, USDC and Circle. Circle, by the way, took in $200 million from Fidelity and $200 million from BlackRock a few weeks ago in a Series F at a $9 billion valuation. They got $54 billion of coin. So end of the day, regulation comes, Bitcoin goes up. And I agree with your thesis that it's a good asset to have if you're in a country where your currency is collapsing. But if institutions smell policy, then you've got a real move up. And that's when you break out of this $19,000 to $22,000 trading range against the US dollar. I think it goes right through that very quickly.
Now, probably the most interesting thing I saw yesterday was this. Remember this cowboy crypto clip right here? Watch.
Suing us. Most people outside the United States don't really care that the SEC is suing us. I'll tell you a very quick, funny story. I'll keep it short. I was in the Middle East last fall, and we were meeting with customers. I have one of the Ripple team members who's based there. It's really early in the morning. My time zones are all screwed up. We're meeting the CEO of a payments company, and but the employee from Team Ripple says, "Well, why don't you give an update on what's going on at Ripple?" And I start talking about the SEC. And after the meeting, he very delicately says to me, "No one gives a shit." And his point was, if you're not in the United States, the governments in Abu Dhabi, governments in Switzerland, Singapore, UK, Japan, they provided the clarity how they view and categorize digital assets, and they don't care that the United States SEC has a viewpoint that is, pending in court. Most people
All right. So then this person says, I like how he uses profanity more and more when describing his feelings and others regarding the SEC. And Brad Garlinghouse himself replied, and he says, my outrage has grown as the litigation has unfolded. There's no recourse. There's no consequence to those that brought this lawsuit. The SEC's pursuit of policy objective isn't about a faithful allegiance to the law. It's about power. There's no regard for those companies and people that this approach has harmed. We all should be outraged. The SEC has clearly forgotten that the government works for the people. I believe, folks, this is just me talking. I believe this right here is Brad Garlinghouse's way of saying, yeah, SEC, you keep on messing around with us, because he's saying here that there's no recourse. You know what? I don't think he really means it. I think that there is recourse. Think about, Ripple doesn't talk about it. The people in social media talk about it, but Ripple does not talk. Think about the freaking liability that is on the side of the people that have been involved in this whole ETHgate thing. Think about the things we've found just from public video and the timeline we've been able to piece together. And then think about what Ripple knows. Ripple knows things that we don't know. Think about what they know, and think about what they could get their hands on if they filed suit against some of these people that have been behind this. I believe what he was really saying right there is, you keep on messing with us, and you're going to have a real problem on your hands, because Ripple these guys, if they don't already know where all the bodies are buried, they sure as hell are going to find out, because there's a lot of stuff to this. Just imagine what's going on behind the scenes, just knowing what we know that's been public. Let me finish by showing you this. This is interesting because Masterworks is one of my sponsors. Links in the top of the description. You can click on that, tell them DAI sent you. The times that we're in right now, 3 common ways to grow your wealth: stock market, real estate, commodities. All of them have been collapsing because that's how it works. This is how it worked in the financial crisis. When it gets like this, everybody just kind of goes to cash. And so everybody's kind of on a search for, okay, is there anything left that I could put my money in that might go up? Well, I believe art's one of those things. I've invested some of my money into Masterworks artwork. They're basically giving people like you and me access that traditionally have not had access to the art world. They go and buy a piece of art, turn it into $20 shares with a minimum investment of $500, and all of a sudden, art's not just for rich people anymore. And this is a chart that shows how art has outperformed the S&P 500 since 1995. So it's a way to go counter to what everything else that's going, or potential way. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family to go check out that link, masterworks.io. Link in the top of the description. Tell them DAI sent you.